Hello everyone, welcome back to our software engineering lecture series. I'm Nadia Patel. Let's get started with our today's lecture. So we are in continuation to UML diagrams part 2 and introduction to software testing. I have already uploaded one video on what exactly testing is, definition of testing, some overview on testing, what is the benefit of testing and all of that. In today's lecture, we will try to understand some testing fundamentals, and the first part to be understood under testing fundamentals is some terms and terminologies in testing. So when we talk about terms and terminologies, we try to find some definition, some concept, what exactly terms are used in testing. So under this, we will see overview, terms in testing, which are error, bug, defect, fault, and finally failure. So let us take one overview of testing. When test engineer finds any error in the application, they call it as a bug or defect. So we have already seen the importance of testing, what is the need of testing in the previous lecture. So after knowing the need of testing, the next phase is performing testing. We have seen SDLC, we have seen waterfall model. Now how to perform this phase of testing? Assume that you are in the phase of testing and now you're supposed to check the software or the system against something. So this checking against something is your SRS or it can be your test cases. But what will happen if you find some unwanted part in your system or some unavoidable part or something which is not required, something which is not making your system up to the mark, something which is degrading the quality of your system? What should we call it? What should we actually, we can say, formally call it? So sometimes some people call it bug or some people call it defect. Bug is informal name to defect, which are flaws or mistakes in the code or design. Defect is any variance or deviation between the actual and the expected result. The phase of testing should be always performed with respect to your system requirement specification document, which contains all the needs and requirements of your customer or end user and test cases. So one question which arises or comes in mind here is, these are certain terms which come under testing, but is the meaning of everything same? Is error and bug nothing but one and the same thing? Is bug or defect same? Fault, failure and defect, are all of them same or different? So in this lecture we will try to find or coin some, we can say, some kind of concept or definition which can make these terms or help us better understand. But if you ask any industry person, they are definitely going to beg to differ that no, this is not something which we use some different term. So this changes from person to person, from team to team, and you can say from company to company. But our aim or goal should be only one: making system error free, making system defect free, a system which should give you reliable results, which should be reliable, which should be secure enough at the end of your customer. So our aim should be what? Making a system which should be usable, reusable, and it should not contain any anomalies. Now, removing anomalies will also depend on your company standards and your customer, what exactly the need of customer is. So let's get started and understand some, you can say, theory behind these terms, which will make them different. So let us first check what error is. If you are a computer background student, you will definitely know what errors are. the best time in your practical or programming kind of a thing is finding and removing them. Sometimes it becomes very interesting and takes you to the next level. Sometimes it becomes so hectic that you end up just shutting down your computers. So the term error refers to coding or programming mistake that usually shows up due to incorrect syntax, logic, or fault loops. Errors emerge from the source code itself, caused by inconsistencies in the internal code structure. There are anomalies, or they are anomalies which are triggered by some misconceptions, oversights, or misunderstandings from the developer's end. Errors are of various types. So there can be an error in calculation which has occurred due to or by using wrong formula. There can be a data handling error which is caused due to overwriting of unnecessary files. There could be configuration error which is caused due to insufficient storage spaces. There could be logical or syntax errors as well. Now let us find or understand what exactly a bug is. Because if you are a developer, you will definitely fix errors and then only pass on your work to the testing team so that they can check whether your work is up to the mark, whether your work is according to customers' needs or not. So if the developer is already fixing errors, why are we again talking about errors in the phase of testing? So then let us switch to what bugs are. Bug is again a result of a coding error. A software or application, if it is not working as per the requirement, so this condition is known as a bug, or if this condition is caused because of a bug. There was a bug, that is the reason the application is not working as per our requirement or as per our expectations. An error found in the development environment before the product is shipped to the customer. So we are still in the development environment, and development environment does not only refer to the developers phase only. It is the environment where developers, testers, all of them, your manager, your team leader, all of the team will work together. So until it is in your environment, and if you're still finding some anomalies, some errors, it will be formally known as a bug, and it is not yet given to the customer. So till then, if you're finding some unwanted or some part which is mistaken or which is not required, it can be referred to as a bug. Now again, I have referred some of reference books, one or two. I have gone through the readings and then found these content. If you speak about reading on internet, not everything on internet is true or correct or up to the mark. So whenever you are reading it for the first time, if you are a new person, you want to explore and you want to come into this industry and seek a job and build a career out of it, so start reading or start your work from reading reference books. This would be my genuine, I could say, one just point I could just give you that start reading with reference books first and then switch on to reading and learning on internet. So these contents which I got, the theory which I found was first and completely reliable on reference books, and then I switched to the internet. So there I found that till it is in the development environment, and if you're finding some anomalies, some unwanted part, it can be referred to as a bug. When we have some coding errors, it leads to program and its breakdown, and it could be known as a bug. So an error which just got projected, one error which you did not fix, which did not arise or came into highlight when you were developing it, but then it got projected in the testing phase. It is the same thing which got projected, and now it is getting referred as a bug. An error in software or hardware. Now, if you are trying to create a system which is having some hardware interfacing and if there is a problem in this interfacing. So there has to be a good communication between your system and the hardware. What if the hardware has got some issues and then it is not communicating or interacting correctly with your system? This can cause a malfunction, which can be again referred to as a bug. These could range from irrational or incorrect responses, unpredictable failures, system crashes. Your system can actually crash if some bugs are not fixed. So if it is a hardware interfacing system having a hardware interface, it is again very crucial. So if you're not fixing it on time, your system might crash. Now this is one example which I found very good and perfect for explaining bugs which are different from error. So error is different and bug is different. Say for example, you're working on a shopping website and you have liked some of the products and now you're just interested in buying them. What we do is we simply add them to the cart, and then once you are done with the catalog, with going through the product, final thing we do is we just place the order for that product. So after you click button of add to cart, you should be redirected to the billing or redirected to just payment options. But here, rather than redirecting you to the payment page, it is again redirecting you to the product catalog page. So this is one, you can say, a problem caused at the end user's side, that it is not taking me to the payment page. So am I not supposed to buy anything? Just come on your shopping website, go through the product and leave. Is it that kind of website? So this is a bug which should be fixed. So this is, I think, a standard example or correct example to explain bug. This is not an error. So anywhere the system is not failing right now, but it is not a big failure. It is just something should be fixed. Once you fix this part, your system will be corrected. Again, example could be login form. When we have login or authentication form, you just put on your username after sign up. So once you sign up, you're trying to sign in now. After putting your username, password, there is a CAPTCHA. And if you find the CAPTCHA is a little complicated, there is a refresh button or there is a space for new CAPTCHA. But the new CAPTCHA is not getting reloaded. So this is again a bug. So you know that you're not a robot and you just want to log in. My login credentials are correct. My username and password is correct. But only because of the CAPTCHA which is not getting refreshed, I am not able to log in. So this is a bug which should be fixed. So usually bugs are found in unit testing. So if you are in the unit testing part, bugs are found and they are fixed. Just because I gave you two examples, these are very small problems, you can say. These are minor problems which can be fixed. So bugs and errors could be fixed. The severity goes on increasing after you just pass on or keep those bugs as it is. So they can be fixed very easily. If they are found in the unit testing part, they will easily get fixed. Now this is the little more severe part. So if you go on to the level, it started with the error, it just reflected, it got projected. It did not got fixed in the developing phase and got projected in the testing phase and became bug. Now we are discussing defect. What is a defect now? Defect is a variance between expected and actual result of the application or software. So let us take one example of, this one is a very simple example where you're supposed to make addition of two numbers. So 2 plus 2 has to be 4, but instead of 4, the output is 3.9. So here you can see that output, I can say it is completely wrong if you ask me. Some can say, it is not completely wrong. It is just a variance. It has just got deviated. There is only difference of 0.1. So it is not a big issue. So issues, now we are using term issue. There was a problem, there was an error, there was a bug. Now we are discussing issues. So there is a variance or deviation of 0.1 in the output. If you ask me, if you go through the rules, integers, they are integers, so addition is supposed to be again an integer only. How can it is a floating number? So this is a defect. So there are variants. I have taken a very simple example. These defects are having big variances and big deviations in the output, which should be fixed. So the defect is an error found after the application goes into production. It is the deviation of the customer's requirement. The customer wanted answer or output as 4, but the answer has got deviated from 0.1 and it is showing you 3.9. So it is a deviation. Defect is also solved by developer in development phase or stage. Now, after knowing what exactly defect is, it is not completely, you can say, wrong. So here, many people will have difference of opinion. Why are we supposed to call it wrong? Fine. It has just a minor mistake. So defect are like that. They can be fixed. Okay? We are still, the system is under control and we can still work out and make it happen. Now let us discuss what faults are. When we speak, or if you go through the formal meaning of this word, English meaning of this word could be faulty things. So faulty things, even there are people out there who buy faulty things. So it is fine. For me, it is okay if a thing which I am buying, say for example, I am buying a hair dryer maybe, and after twice or thrice using it, it just doesn't work. I just need to cool it down, but after that, after a 15 minutes break or a half an hour break, I can again put on the hair dryer and it works completely. But there is a small fault in it, that it cannot be kept on for a long while. It needs break. So this is fault. But still people will buy. Some people will buy it at, if it is at very affordable price and I can use it for 10 times and then discard it, I'm completely okay. I'm getting it for that price, which is very, very low. So I'll be happy buying it and I'll use it. Once I'm okay, I'm done with it, I'll just throw it away. So faulty things we are talking about, but this is not a simple toy or thing or an application which can be thrown in your cupboard. This is software industry, guys. Let's get serious. Money is involved, cost is involved, so we cannot keep such defects in any system and keep it and say it's fine. No, it is not fine. Unsatisfactory feature. This is not avoidable. We cannot avoid fault, we cannot avoid defect when it comes to people's money, time, resources getting invested. So faults are responsible for accidents or misfortune. Remember the hair dryer? What if it starts giving you shocks then? If you have bought it for a very cheap price and now it is giving you some electric shock, do you like it? No, we are definitely not going to like it. So accidents or misfortunes can happen because of faulty things. So avoid using faulty things. A defect or imperfection, you can call it. A fault is defined as an abnormal condition or defect at the component, equipment or subsystem level which may lead to failure. Systems fail because of fault. If you know that a small defect is going to reflect and become a fault, fix it as quickly as possible so that your system doesn't fail. Faults cause failure. Now, this is the most severe condition. Nobody, no developer, no tester, no manager would like their system to get into this failure phase or something which is unwanted. So we want to recover our system as soon as possible. So fix the defects, fix the fault and you will never reach the failure phase. A failure is the inability of a software system or component to perform its required functions within specified performance requirement. When defect reaches the end customer, it is called failure. Very important. Until now, until the fault were getting discussed, the system was in your premises, in your environment. But now it has reached customer, and if he is not liking your product, it is going to be said that your system has failed miserably. Once the product is completed and it is delivered to the customers, and if the customers find any issue in the product or software, then this condition is known as product failure. Your system has failed. We don't want this to happen. So during development, failures are usually observed by testers. If an end user detects an issue in the product, then that particular issue is called as a failure. So when it is coming from your user, it is a failure. Now you can't say that this is just a small fault, this is just a small bug, I'll fix it. No. Your customer's feedback is very important. Your end users should always be satisfied. And small things, as I told you, like there was a login problem, there was a redirection problem, the pages are not getting redirected, page becoming unresponsive, this could be fixed. You will not lose your customer, but if your system is a failure, you'll definitely lose them, and we don't want that. Causes of failure, there could be human error or mistake, there could be some environmental conditions as well. The way in which system is used, again, mishandling can also cause failure. So you need to check. If you're performing acceptance testing, you are lucky enough to check how your customer is handling the system. That could be fixed, but if it is getting mishandled every time, system will fail. Now let us take one more example. So here I have taken a code, a very simple code. It is supposed to perform multiplication. So I have given input as 7 to variable A, as 5 to variable B, and A multiplied by B should be your answer. Let us see what it is doing. So here is my output. So if you check 7 5s are 35, it has carried out multiplication correctly, but while printing on the screen, it is printing the subtraction of 7 and 5 is 35. So this is a typing mistake, you can say. This is a mistake which has arisen in the print statement and not exactly the logical error. Logically, it has performed its multiplication, which is satisfactory, but the output on the screen doesn't seem to be correct. So here the output has got deviated from printing multiplication to subtraction. As the failure has been detected, a defect can be raised. Now this is where the system is failing. If I don't check the actual answer, I only go through the statement, it has given me the subtraction of 7 and 5, which is completely wrong. So your system has failed. This is how it just gets fixed. Now, one big question to be asked. If we are finding some defect, bugs, or you can say some anomalies, and this is coming from customer, then who should we blame? Should we blame the development team or should we blame the testing team? After performing development phase, after performing successful testing phase, even after that, there are some errors. Now come on, we all are humans, we should understand, we should be, you can say, normal enough to accept that any system will become live, will become active and productive when live data and live users will start using it. Till the system is in your environment, in your premises, it is definitely going to be under controlled hands. I know what should be the input and I will try not to give the wrong inputs and check accordingly. But what if you're making or creating an Android application or a shopping website and putting it up on internet, n number of users are going to be using the system. There will be simultaneous users, there will be big or huge database, there will be payment gateways, there will be interaction with the bank, and it is but obvious that there will be some problems involved, there will be some anomalies which should be get fixed. So you shouldn't make it a taboo or a big thing like, oh God, the system came back in the premises, it got rejected by the end user. It happens, it is fine. So nobody should be blamed. It is a teamwork. Everyone is important, right from your document writers, your system analyst, your QA team, your dev team, your tester. Everyone has done hard work and nobody should be blamed, I would say. So I don't want anybody to just run away like this. This is quite debatable, so let's not blame anyone. These were all about some terms and terminologies of testing. I hope it was helpful, simple as always. Thank you.